You are listening to TNA, Top Notch Audio. Get ready for some episodes of r/slash idontworkherelady. And our first story is posted by u/my moon. Karen at the cinema. I worked at a small cinema that usually showed some alternative films. There were several other activities in the building, including choirs and theater groups. But I worked for the cinema and did not keep track of where or when the other activities was. At the cinema, we had a computer connected to the movie, ticket booking, and the cinema's email. This computer had settings so we who worked there couldn't be on whatever pages we wanted. Important info. This time I was working on a Wednesday for the first time and had no idea what was happening in the building except what film I was going to show. While I was sitting at the computer arranging small things, then Karen comes up. Karen. Excuse me. Me. Yes, what can I help you with? Karen. Do you know where the international choir has its practice? Me. Unfortunately, no. I only work for the cinema and have no knowledge over the other activities. Karen. Don't be silly. Look it up on the computer for me. Me. I can't do that. The computer only works with the programs we have for cinema and the booking. Karen. So you can see all the bookings in the building? Me. No, I can't. I can only see the cinema bookings. Karen. Are you too important to help me or what? Me. Excuse me? But I don't know how I can help you. I don't know where the international choir has its practice, when they start, or who is responsible for them. But I know we will be showing movie title tonight if you are interested. Karen storms off and I remain slightly irritated. Visitors to the evening's movie come and pay for their tickets, enter the salon and sit down. 5 minutes before I close the doors, Karen came back. Karen. I couldn't find the choir, so I'll take the cinema instead. Me. Sorry for not being able to help sooner, but fun you want to see the movie. Then I explained that it is free placement in the salon and what the tickets cost, and that it is a discount if you are over 65. Karen. Do you think I'm old now too? Me. Surprised. No, this is the information I provide to all customers. Karen. You still think you're too important to me, but I'll buy a ticket anyway. Me. Okay, that's ticket cost. Karen. Wasn't it cheaper? Me. If you are over 65. Karen. I'm over 65. Me. Then you will get the discount. I write in the discount and print out her ticket and give it to her. She snarls and goes into the salon. Time goes, and after I start the movie, I can start putting away the candy and warm my lunch. Then Karen comes out from the salon looking at me. Karen. What? Do you get paid to eat? Me. When the movie is on, I can't do much else. The computer is locked, no more customers will come, and I'll be here until after the credits is done. So yeah, I'm having my dinner now. Karen. Aha! The computer certainly works. Me. No. I can't prepare tomorrow's movies today, because when the last movie of the day is started, the screen locks for security reasons. But can I help you with something, because you're not in the salon watching your movie? Karen. I didn't like it, so I'll go now. And I'll tell your boss how unpleasant you have been with me tonight. She goes away and I eat up my dinner before I can email my boss and tell him what had happened. My boss replies by reminding me that I cannot use the computer after the last movie goes and asks if anything else happened during the evening. Not the best, boss. Have more stories about him. I answered no, and the rest of the time I spent on YouTube on my private phone. Man, after reading tons and tons of these stories, it's crazy that no matter what, there are people in this world that their sole mission seems to just want to pick fights and just have arguments with people and just be agitated and annoying to others. It's just crazy how they seem. I thought they were just, in my neighborhood, in my area, but they are everywhere in the world, and now we get a chance to read them out loud. So thank you all for listening. And this story is posted by u/Basmani. Need a taxi? Not me, Gov. This is sort of a I don't work here story, but no lady. I'm a musician. I play in function and cover bands, doing weddings, parties, and so on in bars, hotels, pretty well anywhere people ask us. Really, as long as they pay us and we consider we're likely to survive the experience. As I'm out working late at night and usually in licensed premises, I encounter a number of drunk, stupid, entitled people along the way. It's par for the course, and they're usually not too much of a problem, but there are always exceptions. One evening, some years ago, I was playing in a function room in North London. There were 2 bands booked that night, plus a DJ. Ours was a late finish. We were the final band on, and our set began at midnight and ended at 3 in the morning. We played there quite regularly, so knew the score. The gig itself went fine, and everyone enjoyed themselves. We finished our set, packed up our gear, and while the staff began to shoo the customers out and clear up the venue in preparation for closing. As it was the middle of the night, there were a few, if any, buses or public transport running. Those who had not arrived in their cars had to find a taxi to take them home. There was always a queue of taxis outside the front doors, plus a scrum of people trying to get into them as there were never enough cars to go around. There was no queue. It was every man and woman for himself. The door staff did their best to try to keep order, but it was a bit of a melee. By the time we had packed away and ready to load our kit into our vehicles, most customers had left, leaving the stragglers who had not managed to find a taxi. I left my equipment by the door just inside the venue and went to fetch my car from the car park across the street. As I played the bass, I had 2 large speaker cabinets. This was before the days of compact, lightweight bass amplification, 2 flight cases containing my instrument and amplifier, another case full of cables and accessories, plus a couple of lights and part of a PA system. I drove a Volvo Estate, about the only vehicle that would accommodate the amount of stuff I had to transport. I parked outside the front door and went in to collect my stuff. I wheeled the first of my speaker cabs out to find 3 people sitting in my car. I opened the tailgate, lifted the speaker into the vehicle, and asked what they were doing there. "You're a taxi," came the reply. "Take us to Harlesden." "Sorry," I replied. "I'm part of the band. I need to load my equipment. Would you get out of the car, please?" "Don't give us that. You're a taxi. Now take us to..." I walked round to the passenger door, looked in and said, "Listen, mate, take a look at my face. Ring any bells? You've been looking at me up on that stage for the last 3 hours. I'm in the band. Now get out of my car, please." "Don't frickin' lie, you see? You're a..." Realizing this was going nowhere, I went to the rear of the car and retrieved the pickaxe handle I keep there for emergencies. I went to the passenger door, opened it, and told my new friends to get out and wave my little friend at them. "For the last time, I'm not a bloody taxi. Now get out or you'll get this." This had the desired effect. They got out, grumbled, and went back to the front door to wait for a taxi. I continued to load the car, bid goodnight to the door staff, got in, and started the engine. As I did so, one of the 3 ran to the car. I quickly engaged in the central locking. He pulled on the door handle. When it wouldn't open, he wrapped his arms over the roof and around the windscreen on the passenger side, shouting, "Take us to Harlesden, you see." His friends headed towards the car, so I engaged first gear and eased forward. They stopped, but our hero clung on, kicking at the door and yelling. I increased my speed and swerved from side to side in an effort to dislodge him. He clung on, still yelling. He held on until I got to the end of the street, but I managed to throw him off by taking the sharp bend at the end of the road at speed. He fell in a heap in the road and lay there. I didn't bother to stop to find out if he was all right. The Lord watches over drunks and little children. Well, I'm not sure about this story. I really don't have any comments. Not sure if I would have left someone in the middle of the street, but then again, protecting my own. So definitely at the end of these stories, leave your comments as to what you would have done. And this story is posted by u/toad_sticker. I'll send someone right over. It happened just over 23 years ago. I remember the date vividly since it was the morning of my wedding day. That is the first piece. The second is that I had a friend, sadly he passed on, that I used to exchange crank calls with on a regular basis. We would call each other up at odd times, pretending to be a company, collection agency, confused drug dealer, or any number of foolish things to see how long it would take for the other person to realize they were being pranked. My friend had moved out of town a year or so before, but was coming to my wedding, so I was expecting him. And that was the third piece of chance that caused all this to happen. My wedding day rolled around and it's early, 7-ish, and my phone starts ringing. I answer it, and right away I recognize the voice on the other end as my prank phone call buddy. I mean, why not? It's my wedding. What better time to prank someone? I say hello, and the conversation goes something like this. It was 23 years ago, so forgive me for not remembering everything. DG is Digger Guy, and me is me. DG. Is this XYZ cable? Me. Recognizing my friend's voice. Yeah, what can I do for you? DG. We were digging down here at given address and hit a cable. Me. Hey, that's cool. Was it fun? DG hesitates. Yeah, I think we may have cut it. I can see a shiny part sticking out. Me. That's okay. The shiny stuff makes the signal go faster. DG. No, I think it's cut, like in two pieces. Me. Oh, I get it. Like not one, but actually two pieces. DG. Yeah. Me. Were you using a backhoe or a shovel or what? DG. We used a shovel. Me. Was it a number 2 spade or just a garden shovel? DG. I don't know, just a regular shovel. Now, if you guys have ever seen the movie Fletch with Chevy Chase, you will have some idea of where this conversation went. Think Gordo in the airplane hangar. Me. In that case, I'm going to need you to prepare that cable with some gauze pads and some 3-in-1 oil. DG. Okay. Me. Then I'll need some 30 weight ball bearing and some Quaker State antifreeze. No better make that Pennzoil. DG. Ball bearings and antifreeze? Perfect question. Me. Come on. Everything is ball bearings and antifreeze these days. The conversation continued a bit and somehow we got on paperwork. DG. I heard you guys had a little trouble with the FCC not long ago. Me. The FCC was nothing. It was when the ATF was in last week and took all of our files that bothered me. This continued on for a bit, and I finally decided to call on my friend and said, So, friend's name, did you have a good trip over this morning? DG kind of stammered a bit and went back to talking about the cable. I had a sinking feeling that this 10-minute prank call by my friend was actually a real call from someone who had really cut an underground cable. Finally, DG said, So, are you going to send someone over or what? Me, yeah, someone will be there in a few minutes. And I hung up. I wonder if my friend gets points for pranking me even though he wasn't involved. This has been TNA Top Notch Audio. 3 great funny stories. And my question to you is, which one of these stories are your favorites and why? Share your comments below, and also don't forget to subscribe so you can get notification of more videos in the future. Have yourselves a great day.